it's Gilbite here, and in this video I'm gonna dress up my engine bay a little bit with a detailed guide on hydro dipping the engine cover. So to remove the engine cover, like most, you just pry up really hard. All your might. All right, it wasn't that hard. It just has some pins that stick into holes that have some rubber on them to hold it in place. So just pull them up. So my plan is to hydro dip using ink transfer film the engine cover. I'll probably do some other pieces too, but this video is going to be a detailed guide related to the engine cover. Now this is their carbon fiber kit, and I also, in addition to the kit, I got the Ruby Candy Intercoat that's going to give it a red color. Kit comes, as you can possibly see here, a Scotch pad to scuff up your product, tack cloth, sandpaper, 4 and 600 wet dry sandpaper, some gloves, the film itself, the primer slash base coat and adhesion promoter. Mine is metallic graphite. Again, I bought the colored intercoat in addition to the kit. It has their activator, and the version I bought has the 2K high gloss clear. So the rubber pieces will come out of these. I don't think you have to take them out, but I'm going to go ahead and take them out since mine are pliable enough where it won't tear them up, and that way I won't risk it. But put a little piece of tape. You could tape those when you go to dip. Just put some tape over it and that would work as well. I'm going to use a Dremel tool, the grinder, to take the heads off of this, which is the Mazda emblem. So once you've ground them down to where it's just the white, you can take like a Phillips head screwdriver or a punch or something, and you just push down and it'll pop them out of the hole. Don't pry on this side, pop them out from the back. There you go. Now you don't have to take this off if you don't want. You can dip it, but you're going to have to, in order to get it to stick, paint and everything, you're going to have to scuff this up. I am planning with mine just putting some black plasti dip on it. The kit comes with pretty good directions, and there's obviously a video on how to do this that you can watch. But step one is you want to clean this thoroughly to get all any greases or oil off of it, and make sure you have clean hands. That'll clean your hands. Then we'll scuff it up. So now, using the scuff pad and some sandpaper, just going to start scuffing it up. I used the scuff pad to scuff most of this up, but I use 600 grit to get, you'll notice right in here, indentation around all these. So I'm using 600 grit in the edge of it to get down in there, and you need to get all of as good as you can without messing up the letters. You want to get in there so that you can scuff it enough so that the paint will adhere. One thing, don't forget to get around the edges here. Anywhere where you want the paint to stick, you want to scuff it up. And when you're cleaning, you do want to clean under here, because you're going to be touching all this and you don't want to transfer the oils and stuff from here to here on accident. So now that it is scuffed up, we got to clean this off. There's a few ways to do this. You can, if you got compressed air or a blower or something, blow it off, and then use that tack cloth that they supplied to wipe it. That'll make sure there's no dust on it. And that is in prep for the painting. Rigged up a clothes hanger, a wire clothes hanger, to possibly hold it. Hopefully I won't regret that. And I got a fan blowing out, so take some of the fumes out. But first thing, just wipe it down with a tack cloth. And it's pretty easy. Take your tack cloth and wipe it down. Don't let your tack cloth hit anything else, like the bench here, because it will pick up anything off the bench. So you try to keep it as clean as you can. Be sure to read the instructions on the paint. Pay particular attention to timings, and how longs, that type of thing. There are windows. Now with this one-hit wonder paint, you've got, it's like a 14-day open window, which is completely counter to what your crayons and your Rust-Oleum paints will have. They'll have like a 1-hour open window, because the idea for most things, you want it to dry fast and cure fast. What that means is, when I spray this, I then have whatever that open window maximum is, I have to have dipped it and then coated it with whatever I'm coating it with for it to stick properly. So I have shaken the can. All I'm doing is putting 2, maybe 3 coats of this on, depending on how much shows through. But you can see, hopefully, how metallic it is. It is metallic graphite. I also want to get some on the edges here, just to make sure anything visible is covered. That's first coat. This is not as sturdy as I was hoping it would be. Not at all. Oh well. So I'm not too worried about this, where it says Sky Active Technology, because I'm going to paint on top of that. I'm going to paint over it with something else. I don't claim to be the best painter in the world. Obviously I'm not. Alright, I think that's good. And I will tell you, so when you're done, 1, 2, 3, you want to clean the can out. Read it again. Read the instructions, the directions on the can. So the engine cover has been painted with the primer, base coat, and adhesion promoter. Yes, I have one really loud dog and a puppy. And I put tape here to so that the film, because this is carbon fiber, you can really see it has the straight lines, and it's a small, very defined pattern. So if I left this open, it might pull it at a weird angle. So I've taped that off, just FYI. And I have the paper, the film, I should say. The container I'm using is like 10 by 15. The container for this dip is like 10 by 15. So it's a little tight, but it is big enough, barely. So I already know sticky side is the bottom on this one, and the sticky side will go down when we put it in. I have measured 15 inches And the tape will take up some of that space. Well, I may cut the tape. Yeah. Out there. So I'm cutting it just a hair short of 15 inches because the tape will take up some of that. I always put my film back in. Try to keep it clean and dry as possible. So I don't have a professional hydro dipping tank. I'm just a do-it-yourselfer. So I tape them off in order to get the film to hold the pattern when it's put in the water. If your tub is the exact size, or you have a professional unit tank, where you have a professional tank, then you don't have to worry about this, but I do not do any slits. From my experience, the slits don't help me. On the sizing, you need to make sure that if it's something like this, it rolls, that it's going to be able to roll across, and you need a little extra. And I'm barely going to have enough on length. I am marking front because I'm doing more than one piece and I want them all to line up with the proper direction on the film. I don't want film to be going, the carbon fiber to be going one way on one piece and a different way on another piece and have it look funny. Using the tack cloth. Make sure you get any dust off of it. Make sure you have clean hands. Water temperature is 87 degrees. It is clean water. I have trimmed the tape so that it fits better and doesn't stick to my hands. You want to hammock it as you go down. Try to avoid air bubbles. And I could have made that a little bigger. Oh well. Start a 1 minute timer, continue to shake. And then 1 minute. Alright, I think it's coming out. Yeah, it's coming out. I think should be right, mate. Yeah, it's completely out. Perfect. Now if I don't screw up the activator, I think that was good. I have a bad habit of not getting enough activator. Okay. Dip, lay down. Slow. Not quite perfect there. It is perfect everywhere else. After you've dipped it in lukewarm water, you want to rinse it off. At least lukewarm water works better than cold water. You can use a hose or something, but it's going to take, from my experience, it takes 5 to 10 minutes. You got to rinse till all of the slimy material is off of it. That's the backing, plastic backing. It disintegrates in water, but that's why you got to rinse it. Get it rinsed all off, and that'll also get all the activator off. And you'll know when you're done because it will dry very dull. It should be a dull finish when it's dry, and you can lightly touch it to see if it's still slimy. But it's better to rinse too much because you can't, as opposed to too little. You don't want that slime on there when you're doing the intercoat or a top coat. Yeah, it will take forever. It literally will take forever. It's how it feels. And this is like the 4th part today. Just keep going. What I'm doing is I go until I think I'm done, and then I go a little longer. Just keep going. So there's the engine cover. I did touch it up there and on the front just a little bit, and I have a video on how to do that. Gonna hit it with the One Hit Wonder Intercoat, Ruby Candy Intercoat. In case you're wondering what color it is. I should mention I did use a tack cloth on it. Try not to touch it with dirty, oily hands. Try to keep as much oil and stuff off of it as you can. And then I hit it with the tack cloth to get any dust and stuff off of it. That should be about it. So I painted the engine cover with the Ruby Candy Intercoat, and it was just a little too, I guess, bluish. The first one I had tried was the Candy Apple Red, which I thought would be closer to the Soul Red, but this is a little more purpley pink, so it didn't quite look right. So I started experimenting, and I don't know if it'll show up very well on here, but if I put a couple ruby coats down, and then I hit it with one light coat of the Candy Apple Red, that's what I get, and that one looks pretty close to the, it works well with the Soul Red. Alright, that's probably good. Alright, I'm pretty happy with the color now. So it is time to use the tack cloth on the part. Then spray it with clear coat. I'll be using the 2K clear coat from One Hit Wonder. This It's 2X, it's not 2K. 2K is 2 parts. You're gonna see it's got a red thing here that you put, you press down on this plunger to mix the 2 parts. That's 2K. That's 2 times coverage. It is not the same. Just very quickly interpreting this. That's 2 minutes. Shake it for 2 minutes. Then use the red cap to compress the bottom plunger. That mixes the 2 components. That's shown in the middle here. Then you shake it for, wait, 2 more minutes. Hold the can 10 minutes from the surface as you make your passes. In this case, it's 10 to 15 minutes between coats, and the pot life is 4 hours. So once you start, you have 4 hours to finish. This is more of an automotive grade clear coat. This is just a standard clear coat. Plunger on top, cap still on, solid surface. Is now mixing. Shake for 2 more minutes. So I do want to get a little from the bottom around the edges. Make sure that that is covered with the clear coat. A couple things, tips on this. One, if you have a respirator, wear one of those. If you don't, wear a mask. Okay, it's been like almost 15 minutes. I flipped it over, reshaking the can for 2 minutes. Ooh, I like that. It really is bringing it out, bringing the color out more. So clear coat is dry. That's what she looks like. And in case you're wondering, that's what it looked like with the chrome emblem on it. And this would have actually looked all right staining the silver. All right, I'm gonna plasti dip the emblem. See how it looks with plasti dip. If you don't know how to plasti dip, I've got a video on it. I'll put about probably 4 or 5 coats. So 25 minutes. All right, I have sprayed some plasti dip into the top of the lid of the can. This has been wiped off with a microfiber paintbrush. I have tried some different techniques on some other things. Using your finger, using a sponge, that kind of thing. It just didn't really work for me. The paintbrush seemed to work the best. So what I'm doing, I sprayed it in there, and I'm just dabbing it on the top. You don't really, it's less of a brush, more of a dabbing. And the good news is if it doesn't look good, it's plasti dip, it'll come off. As far as your number of coats with plasti dip, you saw where I did the emblem. Be sure to read the instructions on the type that you're using, because I noticed I got 2 different brands and they are very different on what they say to wait between coats. Now I would have sprayed it, but I didn't think I'd be able to get it out from the crevices enough without messing up the top pieces. So my plan is, in this stuff says to wait 30 minutes between coats. So I will wait 30 minutes between coats, and hopefully it'll stay stuck to the clear coat and not want to stick to the brush. Okay, coat one. So instead of the cap, I put it in here. This way I don't have to deal with cleanup, which is a bit of a pain. It's been, well, about 45 minutes. And I got a big light. Hopefully it'll help. You can pretty much go as thick as you want on this, except you don't want it to run over the edges. Okay, coat two. It's getting there. So it was in fact eating some of the styrofoam. Don't use styrofoam. This is glued back down. Let's see what it looks like in the sun and on the car. Hopefully you can see that in the sun. I think it turned out pretty good. And they do have a lot of other colors, so you can get them, possibly get another color that will match your car. This 2K clear is very fingerprint sensitive. All right, there it is on the car. Yeah, I still got some other things I'm going to do, but just wanted to show you this in this video. Got the strut tower brace, seal plates, and the engine cover. And yes, oh good night, look at that. Yep. Anyway, hope that was helpful, and if so, please like, subscribe, comment, and good luck with yours.